Hey y'all, I'm Tammy, and this is Collard Valley Cooks, where we cook like our mamas did. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make my favorite pound cake. Boy, is it delicious. It has 9 eggs in it, y'all, and it's 4.5 inches tall, so you better have a big Bundt pan. Let's get started. Today I am making my favorite pound cake out of my first cookbook. Sometimes I call it the 9-egg pound cake. So we're going to get started. And of course, when you're mixing up a pound cake, what do you start with? Butter and shortening. Okay, my pound cake has shortening in it, and it is good. So we're going to put in 1 cup of shortening into the mixer. We're going to add 3/4 cups of room temperature salted butter. You do want a little salt in your pound cake. We will be using all-purpose flour. So this is 3/4 cups of room temperature butter going in the mixer with a cup of shortening. And you're going to beat this until it's nice and fluffy. Just going to make sure it's mixed in there good and there's nothing stuck on the sides or the bottom. And now I'm going to add 2 cups of sugar. You need to turn up your mixer and get it real nice and fluffy. All right, my instructions tell you to beat that 2 minutes in order to get it nice and fluffy. And you can tell that it turns color almost white looking when it's ready. Sometimes when you make a cake, you always sift your flour. White lily flour comes pre-sifted. Most of the time, if it's a fresh bag of flour, always look at the date on it before you buy it. It will not have to be sifted. In this pound cake, I do not sift my flour. In some other cakes, I do. Okay, for the best results to make a cake, it's great to use winter wheat flour. White lily flour already is that. A lot of people buy cake flour, and white lily flour is equivalent to cake flour. I have my eggs cracked. There's 9 eggs. And we're just going to add them to the mixer one at a time and let them mix in between each addition. We're going to add a teaspoon of salt and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. We're going to add our flour, 1/2 cup at a time until we get 3 cups of flour in here. going to go ahead and add my vanilla. We're going to put in 2 teaspoons of vanilla and 1 teaspoon of almond flavoring. I'm going to put in a little extra because this is not real extract. And then the almond extract is, we'll put in a teaspoon of almond. Now, if you don't like almond, you can use butter or whatever flavor you want to use. Lemon, coconut, however you want to do it. You could add coconut to the cake mix, and you'd have a coconut pound cake. You're going to let this mix for about 2 minutes, and then we'll pour it up in our large bundt pan. You have to have a 10-cup bundt pan. This is a nice, beautiful pound cake batter. It's my favorite pound cake. It makes a nice crust on the top, crunchy, like I like. All right, I have sprayed a bundt pan, and I prefer spraying it because it has so many cracks and crevices. If you want to, you can grease and flour it. Just make sure everything is greased and floured. This is a very large cake pan. Now, my bundt pan is a 12-cup bundt pan, and this pound cake is going to fill it all the way up. So if you have a 10-cup bundt pan, do not use all of this cake batter. Make a smaller loaf or something else with the remaining batter because it will run over in your stove. Big warning, you better have a 12-cup bundt pan or this will run over in the stove. I have been making this for many, many years. And it's delicious. It's a very nice crusty top with a moist, soft crumb. My biggest spatula is dirty because I made fruit cake last night and I haven't washed it, so it's taking me a minute to fill this up. Now you can tell how much room is left in the top of this larger bundt pan. So if you had a regular bundt pan, this would be reaching the top, okay, with this much cake batter. So just don't let it go past 3/4 full, or you're going to have a mess to clean up in the stove. We're going to slide this into the oven, and we're going to get this baking. Hey, y'all, it's ready, and it smells so good. So we're going to get it out of the oven. Boy, it is gorgeous, y'all. We're going to get it over here on the cooling rack. We're going to let it cool all the way down. Well, it's going to cool about 15 minutes. It's nice and cool in here today. And then we will get it out of the cake pan and cut us a slice while it's warm, okay? All right, we're going to flip our cake out on top of this beautiful cake plate. I have a gorgeous cake dome that's super tall. It is 6 inches tall, so it will hold a really tall cake. Most of the domes made today aren't this tall. You can get this dome on the website under Shop Now. It is very expensive, but it's a gorgeous large dome. And then if you get the dome, make sure you get a cake plate that will accommodate it. It needs a cake plate that's at least 13 inches, okay? Or it will not fit on top of it. So do not buy a cake plate that's 12 inches. Make sure that it says it's 13 inches. So I'm just going to do it this way. It's still warm. but it's cooled off enough I can hold the Bundt pan. And I wanted to slice it while it was still warm. It's just absolutely gorgeous. There's a little bitty piece. You can see it. I'll give you a close-up view all the way around, and then we're going to slice into it. Okay, we're going to see how tall it is. It looks like it's about 4.5 inches tall. And we're going to see there it is. You can tell this dome is really tall. It's about 6 inches tall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a standard dome and put on there for you. This is a standard dome. And you can tell it's going to go right up to the top of it. It's fogging it up because it's still warm. Now we're going to give us a slice. I'm going to make a large slice so that you guys can see the cake crumb. Oh, it's nice and warm. We're going to give it a try. Now it's time to eat it, y'all. We're going to have a bite of this delicious pound cake. It is so nice and moist. Wonderful, wonderful texture. Crunchy top. If you want to flip it upside on the other side so that it would cool down, it'd have a crunchy top. Boy, it's good. It really is my favorite pound cake, and it's in the first cookbook. I hope you give it a try. And remember, cake can be frozen. So slice up some, put it in the freezer, and have it later for another day. All right? We're going to see you next time we come on with a good old recipe like Mama made. Thanks for watching Collard Valley Cooks. Bye-bye. I love ya.
She just showed you how to cook it up like Mama used to do. So go on out and have some fun. Now you're getting dinner done with Collard Valley Cooks, your #1. Collard Valley Cooks, ain't we having fun? Collard Valley Cooks, we're getting dinner done. Valley Cooks, ain't we having fun?